The property's lease-up period actually coincided great with our escrow process. Once we closed escrow, our client had a 60% increase in cash flow, had a better unit mix, and the tenant profile in their building was all young professionals in downtown Orlando.
Hey everyone, it's Dan Blackwell, and today we are going to discuss 1031 exchanging from a multifamily property here in California to an out-of-state property. And here today we have Andrew Boukather with us. We're going to be discussing with Andrew how he has successfully helped investors exchange from their multifamily properties here in California into an out-of-state multifamily property. Andrew, thanks for being here. Really appreciate you joining on the video, discussing the 1031 exchange market. If you would, just please provide a little background on yourself.
Dan, thanks for having me. I've been with the Multifamily SoCal team since 2018. I'm an Orange County native and look forward to discussing out-of-state exchanges with you.
So a lot of investors that are thinking about selling a property here in Southern California, they really need to learn about the nuances in other submarkets.
Certainly.
If it's underwriting to certain weather conditions or things that we just wouldn't anticipate knowing about. And I know that CBRE has been very helpful, those local boot on the ground investors. Can you tell us about the 1031 exchange that you completed recently, where you helped an investor sell 2 properties here in Southern California and exchange into Orlando?
Absolutely. So what we did was we had clients that had a property in Anaheim and Lake Elsinore, and we timed their sale so that they could close escrow both at the same time. While we were listing that property, we had deal flow coming their way. They were seeing buildings and listings that fit their criteria. They met with the CBRE team out there, discussed their goals, and the CBRE team ultimately gave them different markets they should look at, different brokerages they thought that they could connect with, and said, hey, we might not be able to find you your exchange property, but we're going to be a resource with you all along the way. So
what did you end up finding the client in Orlando?
So what we found them was 15 units, new construction, all 3 bedrooms. The property's lease-up period actually coincided great with our escrow process. Once we closed escrow, our client had a 60% increase in cash flow, had a better unit mix, and the tenant profile in their building was all young professionals in downtown Orlando.
Wow, that's great. So how did the structure of the exchange work? Because I know a lot of investors that want to complete an exchange, they've got a great property here in California, they know what it is, it's performing well for them, they like the idea of exchanging out of state, but then what do you do? Do you sell first? Do you find the up leg first? How did it happen in this situation?
Well, Dan, it's a fluid process. So what we like to see is a lot of deal flow coming while our clients are listing the property. Sometimes they might not find the property that they're looking to buy while our property is still listed. So if we get a great buyer, we will put the property in escrow, but have maybe 1, 2, even sometimes 3 options to extend escrow for 30 days, giving our clients ample time to find the proper up leg that fits their criteria.
Got it. A lot of the times when we structure these exchanges, we want to make sure that once we're non-contingent on the down leg and the buyers remove contingencies, we have option periods for the seller to extend, and we are going out there actively making offers on up-leg properties. We've already narrowed down what type of submarkets they're looking for, already acquainted with boots on the ground real estate brokers that are bringing us inventory, so we're not under any type of pressure, and we are then going hopefully under contract with the right property, and doing that, completing our due diligence process on the purchase while the down leg's under contract. We want to know what we're buying before the down leg closes. That is the goal of the exchange, so we're not putting that investor into a lot of 1031 exchange risk. There's a lot of times we get calls from investors scrambling at the last minute, hey, I sold my property, what do you have? And when we structure these exchanges, we're not doing it that way. We're making sure we know what we're putting our investors into beforehand, before committing on the sale, and making sure there's plenty of runway of escrow process. What are you seeing to be some active markets? Where are a lot of investors that own in California wanting to go?
So I would say it's the Sun Belt. You have Arizona, Texas, Florida are what we hear most often, but now it sounds like Idaho and Salt Lake City or Utah are just as prevalent.
Now, we did just complete exchanges in the past 12 months. multiple properties in the Phoenix market. Our CBRE team has been very, very helpful and valuable to a lot of our investor clients. We've closed a triple net property there. We've got a large apartment building under contract there. That's the up leg to a 1031 exchange investor. We've closed 3 properties in the Boise market, and also the Orlando property that Andrew completed as well. So Andrew, I know some of the things you do that a lot of investors appreciate is when you're looking at a property, an investor maybe is located themselves or we've helped source for them, you're calling property management companies in and around the area, asking their perspective on property. Sometimes we can get a lot of really, really good information from just talking to local professionals in the marketplace. So we've always gotten good information from several property management companies. A lot of them can give us good insight on the buildings, if it's a rough area, if it's a good area, especially in these smaller markets. Also just contacting the local police department, asking them how many times they're getting calls from the subject property. We've dodged a few properties that we thought looked really good on paper, but you've helped lead the charge, and just helping investors. It's more or less you're partnering with them. This is a big decision for a lot of investors to do. So I think you've done a really good job of spending that extra time, going through the motions, looking at it like you're buying it yourself, and that's helping investors really trust the process. How can people get a hold of you if they want to go over options and discuss something?
Well, Dan, thank you so much for saying that, and I think that it goes for our whole team that we're partnering with our investors that we're working with and making sure that if we're helping them do a 1031 exchange, we'd feel comfortable putting each other in that subject property. You can get in contact with me by calling or emailing me or just giving Dan a call, and he'll shoot you my way.
All right, thanks so much for watching this video, and Andrew, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Dan.
Absolutely. And if anyone is looking to go over your options with completing a 1031 exchange, either here locally or out of state, we're here and happy to help.